n value is 123. If I do n mod 10, what will be the value of remainder? Can anyone tell me?
Yeah, ma'am.
3. Okay. So it will be 3. And in this step, n equal to n by 10, what will be the value of n? If you divide n by 10, what will be the new value of n? N is 123, right? If you divide 123 by 3, it is not remainder. We are finding division by 10. So what will be the value of new value of n? If you divide 123 by 10, what will be the new value of n? Anyone? You will be getting a quotient of 12, right? Are you getting? What? Remainder will be 3 that we have given in this step. But when you divide, you will be getting a quotient as 12. So here in n value, in this step, the value of n will be replaced by 12. So we have made exactly a split of 123. When we find the mode, you will be getting 3. When we divide, you will be getting value 12. So when we are finding the reverse, what we will be doing is, the reverse is a variable which is initialized to 0, right? So you will be multiplying the value with the 10 or reverse value. What is the reverse? Reverse is 0, right? 0 multiplied by 10 plus the remainder. So what is remainder in this step? Remainder is 3. So you will be adding remainder to the variable called reverse. Now, when you have done or executed this step once, you will be getting the reverse value as 3. Now, what is our aim? Out of 123, we got only the last number. So now we need the last digit. So we know that we have divided when we entered the number as 123. In these two steps, actually we had made a split. We had made a split. Now the remainder will be, what is remainder? Remainder is 3 and the new value of n will be 12. What is the new value of n? N value will be 12. So in the next step, what we are going to do is, we will come back to this step 5 and then, so we will be repeating the step 5 until n value is not equal to 0, right? In the next iteration, what will be the remainder? What will be the remainder? Can anyone tell? What will
2,
be
ma'am.
the So here it will be new value of n will be 12, right? So we will be finding 12 mod 10. So what will be the value now? So the remainder will be 2. Got it? So here in this step, the new value of remainder will be 2. And in this step, what will be happening? N equal to n by 10. So what is the new value of n? So we have the value of, in this step also, we have the value of n as 12 only, 12 divided by 10. So what will happen if I divide 12 by 10? What will be the quotient? Quotient will be
2,
1.
ma'am.
No, quotient will be
Yes,
1.
ma'am. 1, 1, 1.
Remainder will be 2 that we already finished. Now the quotient will be 1. So now moving on to the next step, reverse equal to reverse multiplied by 10 plus remainder. The current value of reverse is 3. Now it will come into this step as 3 into 10. 3 into 10 plus the current remainder. What is the current remainder? Current remainder is 2. So 3 into 10 is 30. 30 plus 2 is 32. So in this step, the reverse value will be 32. Got it? Now again it will move on because we gave repeat step 5 until n is not equal to 0. Our current value of n is 1. Again it will move to step 5 and we will find remainder. So now we will see what is the new value. So in this step remainder, again we should find remainder as the current value of n. What is the current value of n? Current value of n is 1 and we are finding the mode with the 10. So when we find the remainder, what will be the remainder? 1 divided by 10, the remainder will be 1 itself. And when we find division, n equal to new value to find, when we go to the next step, we know that n equal to n by 10. So when we find current value of n divided by 10, we will be getting the quotient as 0. So what will happen now? Here n value becomes 0. In this step, the n value becomes 0. And here in reverse, what will happen is current value of reverse is 32. 32 multiplied by 10 will be 310 plus the current value of remainder. What is the current value of remainder? Current value of the remainder is 1. So here when we add 320 plus 1, the result will be 321. So we got the number reversed. So like this is the algorithm for writing the program or for getting the number reversed. As I told, this is only the first part, and the second part will be the factorial of the number. For finding the factorial, as I had, you know, what is factorial? Factorial of a number 5. What is factorial of a number 5? We know how to find factorial of a number. We know that, are you there? Suppose
Yes, ma'am.
to find a factorial of a number 6 means you have to do 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6. Got it? So in order to find a factorial of a number, we have to multiply all the numbers starting from 1 to that number. Suppose if I want to find a factorial of 5, I'll be multiplying. So factorial is also indicated by the exclamation symbol. So in order to find the factorial of 5, I should be multiplying from 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5.
4 into 5.
Got it? So this you have studied in maths, I think. Okay. So here in programming, what we will do is, we'll be, if a number is continuously iterating or continuously increasing 1 by 1 in each step. Here, if you know that after 1 it is 2, then it is 3, it is nothing but 1, 1 plus 1, then 2 plus 1, then 3 plus 1. Like if we are increasing a value by 1, right? So in programming, when we are having such cases, what we will be doing is, we will be using a variable called I, or any variable which we will be using for incrementing. So here initially we will increment, or we will initialize, we will make I as 0, and then for each step we will make as I equal to I plus 1. You know, in program or in algorithm, we should be writing a generalized case. That is, we should not be writing an algorithm which will work only for one number. It should be working for all the numbers. So that's why we are using a variable. So if I do this step repeatedly, in the first time when I do I equal to I plus 1, initially I had initialized I equal to 0. When I increment I equal to I plus 1, the new value of I will be what? I value will be 1. Again, if I'm doing I equal to I plus 1, then I value become 2, right? So if I want, whatever be the number entered, if I want to achieve that multiplication of that number, I can use a variable I, and in each step, I will be incrementing the I value by 1. So suppose if I entered 6, what I will be doing is, I will be starting, or first initially I will be incrementing I value as 0, means I will just increment by 1, and then I will perform a multiplication. So it will be like 1 into, and in the next step, we will be incrementing I value to 2. So it will be like I into 1 into 2. In the next step, I will again increase the value of I to 3. Then it will be like the current value is multiplied with the I value, that is 3. Likewise, I will increment the value of I until I value becomes 6. So this will be the generalized way of making a variable and do or find the factorial of all the numbers which we have entered. So here we have put up an algorithm, which is nothing but step-by-step procedure how to find the algorithm. So here we have written algorithm is the aim of the algorithm is to print the factorial of a number, and we are asking the user to enter a number, right? When I run the program, if I enter 5 as an input means what we are giving into the system, right? When we run the program, what we enter through the standard keyboard is taken as an input to the program. It should be giving an output. What is our aim? So when you do any program in your college or something, no, you will have an agenda or we will have an objective. When I why I am doing this, like that we have an aim for the algorithm and what is expected from the college side, what you are expecting and what college is expecting you to do, right? So likewise here also we are expecting an input and we are telling that if you give an input, I will be giving an output. So this algorithm is expecting an input n, and this output which I am going to have is factorial of a number n. Now we will start. So algorithm, when we write, we have to give the first step as start and the last step will be end. So here also when you write, this is a pictorial representation of the steps what we write in an algorithm. Here this is known as flowchart. In flowchart also the first step will be start and the last step will be the end. So these are certain symbols which I had explained in that chapter. So you can just watch that video, and in that you will understand that for each step, we will have a particular symbol being used. These are known as the terminal symbols. And the next one will be the process box. This will be, so any assignment or declaration or initialization is there, then you have to use this rectangle box. And input output statements will be given in a parallelogram. So whatever input and output we are showing, printf and whatever input what we are using and all, we have to show in a parallelogram. So here we have the step as initialize the I value and fact variable. And then we will be asking the user to enter a number. So variables, why we are using, I told, because we are writing the algorithm which will be working for all the programs or all the numbers what we are entering in order to find the factorial. So we are accepting in a variable n, whatever be the number. I cannot write an algorithm input 9. I cannot do that because I should be generalizing the program in order to accept any number. So we are using the variable. And then in the next step I am finding, I am using another variable called fact. Variable declaration, there are certain rules. So we will be using, even if you use a small name also, no problem. We can use factorial also, but we try to reduce the length of the variable name. You can use f also instead of fact. So variable name is any name which the user find easier to use. And here for writing algorithm, you need not use any small variable name at all. You can use whatever you want, but in programming there are certain rules. So fact is a variable which will be accumulating the factorial of the number in each step of iteration. As I told, you can have, if I enter n and here the fact value, I will substitute and show you how this factorial is working, just like our multiplication of 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So if I'm finding the factorial of 5, it will be doing this not in a single step, in an iteration of in an iteration of 5 steps. Okay, so this, if you substitute this fact variable and I variable, you will be achieving the same effect as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 if you enter n value as 5. Are you listening? Now in each step, after these steps, we will be incrementing the I value by 1. Then after these two steps, we will be, as I told, this has to be iterated, or it has to be put into a loop. We will be checking whether I value is less than or equal to n, because if I enter 5, I should be multiplying only up to 5. That's why we are checking whether I value is less than. Less than means it will go for this case, this case, this case, and this case. And if it is equal to n, because we entered 5, it should be going up to 5, right? So this case, whether I is equal to n, will work for this 5. So this until this condition is satisfied, if this condition is satisfied, then we have to go to step 4, which is step 4, this step. So we will substitute and see how this is working. So after iterating these steps until, for in this case, it will be iterating 5 times. After that, it will move to step 7 and it will be printing the factorial. So in the start, if I entered, so as I told, you can substitute and see what exactly will be happening. So suppose I'm going to run this program, and initializing and all same only. If I equal to 1, fact equal to 1, and I'm giving an input for n. I want to find the factorial of 5. What will happen? So what is the current value of fact, and what will happen in this step? So what is fact now? Fact equal to fact multiplied by I. Substitute the value of fact and substitute the value of I in this step. What will happen? What is the new value of fact after this step? Can anyone tell me? Fact equal to fact multiplied by I. I don't know whether anyone is there or not. Anyone is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what is the value of, in this step, what will be substituted? Current value of fact is, in the first time when we execute, fact will be 1, I equal to 1. So what will happen now? What is the new value of
1 into 1.
1 into 1. Good. Then after that, it will move to step 5. Then what will happen? I equal to
3,
I plus
3
1.
ma'am. I plus 3.
I equal to I plus 1. Current value of I is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So in this step, I value will become 2, right? Then it will check whether, what will be this checking? Can anyone tell? Current value of I is 2. And what will be this checking now, this condition? I substitute and tell me what will be the value of I. I value will be 2. And it will be checking whether it is less than or equal to, what is n value? What we entered n value? N value is, n value we entered as 5.
1.
N value is 5. No, we are
5.
trying to find the factorial of 5. So 2, whether it is less than or equal to 5. In this, it will be checking, because we incremented I, we are checking whether it is exceeding the value of n. Whether 2 is less than or equal to 5. 2 is less than 5. Then what we have to do? We have to go to step 4. Then we will move to step 4. Tell me what will happen in this step. What was the current value of fact? We in the last step we had made fact as 1, because fact was 1 into 1. I value was 1. Fact was 1. So 1 into 1 is 1. So new value of fact is also 1. And after this step, we'll increase I value of 2. So when we check and we move again to step 4, what will be the new value of fact? It will be what? 1 into 2, right? Fact equal to, the current value of I is 2, right? So now we will get fact equal to 1 into 2. What is 1 into 2? We know that it is 2. So now the new value of fact will be updated as 2 in this iteration. Now it will move to next step. It will be incrementing I equal to I plus 1. What is now the current value of I? It was 2. Now when we increment I equal to I plus 1, what will happen? It will be incrementing the value of I by 1. That means it will be 2 plus 1, I equal to 3. Right? Now it will move to this step. It will check now 3 whether it is less than or equal to 5. 3 is less than 5. So it has to go to step 4. Again, it will move to step 4. It will be, what will happen in now? Like fact, can anyone tell what is the new value of fact? In the previous iteration, the value of fact was, right. So it will be 2 into 3. Then it will become 6. Got it? So now we got 6. So we will go to this step. We will be incrementing the value of I. So the new value will be 3 plus 1. So we will be getting it as 4, right? So we will be getting I value as 4. We will be checking in the next step whether 4 is less than or equal to 5. 4 is less than 5. So where we have to go? We have to go to step 4. Again, we'll move to step 4. Fact equal to fact into I. What is the current value of fact is what? Current value of fact is 6, right? So we will be multiplying. So now in this step, it will be 6 multiplied by the new value of I. What is the new value of I? Value I value is 4. So it will be 24. Now again it will be moving to this step 5. It is I equal to I plus 1. So what is a new value of I? We now have updated 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. So we have 5 now. It will move to this step. I value is 5. 5 whether it is less than or equal to 5. We know 5 is not less than 5, but 5 is equal to 5. Then also the condition is yes. Then we will go to step 4. We'll move to step 4. What is the current value of fact? We know it is 24. Now we are going to multiply the current value of I with the current value of fact. That means we will be multiplying 24 with the what? 24 will be multiplied by 5. So what is 24 multiplied by 5? So you'll be getting 120. You know, factorial of 5 is 120. Right? So now again it will move to this step. After factorial, we will be again moving to this step. Computer doesn't know that it is the stopping condition. It will be incrementing the I value by 1. So what will be the new value of 5? So we know it was 5. 5 plus 1, it will become, it will be 6. So it will be 6. Now it will move to this line. It will check whether 6 is less than or equal to 5. We know 6 is not less than 5. 6 is not equal to 5. Then what it will do? It will not obey to this. No, it will not go to 4. It will move to step 7. That is, it will print the current value of fact. What is the current value of fact? We have already kept it ready. Fact will be 120. Okay, so this will be the algorithm which will be made into a program. Are you all listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All are hungry, that's why. So now it is almost time. So in the next class, we will, now when we will get next Friday only we will be getting, I think. No? When we are getting single class only, I can execute and show. Okay. I might have started with this program, but I thought anyway we had started with prime numbers. I didn't. So this has to be implemented as a program. I'll just show you a program. Those who are able to, I know you will take a screenshot, but what is our aim is, we will be asking the user to enter the number. Are you all listening? Just see, let me see those who are able to execute. You know? Then after that, we are asking the user to enter the choice. Understood? After entering the number, we are asking the user to enter the choice. Then using switch case syntax and all, you should be aware. That is, we will be the variable which I am using here to accept the. Are you able to see? Are you able to see? Right. Here we will be using a variable called ch in order to accept the choice. Sorry, I didn't enter the. I will type it and show you. Now the time is not there. No. So first menu is in order to reverse the number. I will type it in the next class. Reverse the number. So we have to display the menu. Then only we can ask for the user to enter the choice. So printf, the second one will be, we will be asking the factorial. Whether you want to find the factorial. Just giving it as a small sentence. Then after that, we will be asking the user to enter the choice. So we will be entering the choice in a variable called ch. Will be accepting the choice. If we want to find the reverse of the number, you will be entering 1. Okay, if you want to find the factorial of the number, you will be entering 2. So that will be accepted in the variable called ch, and using switch case. Switch case is a multi-way decision maker, right? So if the value of ch is 1, then case 1 will be executed. You know this we have already executed. So you know that program also. This is for finding the reverse. And if I enter case 2, you will be executing only case 2. Got it? For the syntax of switch case, you know, you have to start with a bracket and end with the bracket down after all the cases. Even the default, we will be closing the bracket. I didn't give any tab. And you know, for each of the cases, you have to give a case label. and after the case label you would have to put a colon, and default is the case which will be executed if you are entering any other number other than 1 and 2. I'm just giving an exit in order to reduce the length of the program. Now, if default, then you have to exit. You are not telling you entered a wrong choice and all. As I told before, for finding the reverse of the number, there are only 3 steps. That is, first we will be finding the remainder with the mode operator. This we have executed that program. Okay. Then you will be finding the quotient using the division operator, and then you will be finding the reverse multiplied by 10 plus the remainder. So whatever remainder we got in this step will be added up in the variable called reverse by after multiplying by 10. So this will be the step for reversing. After reversing, when n is not equal to 0, if you continuously divide, I thought it might have stopped. It's not yet time, no? So if you continuously divide, it will be n value will be equal to 0. When n value is equal to 0, it will come out of the loop and it will be printing the reverse. If we are ending case 2, then it will perform the factorial. So when we are finding the factorial, just now I explained, until I value is less than or equal to n, we will be iterating. That is, we'll be incrementing the I value and finding the factorial. So factorial we have to find by in each step using an iteration, that is I equal to fact equal to fact multiplied by I. When it comes out of this loop, you might have completed. Suppose if I entered the n value as 5, in each step, will be this step only I was explaining using algorithm. Value when it is in the last iteration we saw that when it becomes 6, it will come out of this while loop and it will be printing the factorial as fact. So I'll just run it and show you, but you have to I didn't complete the execution actually. So if I enter 5 and this and all, we have to put it in for formal way, like a formatted way. If you enter the choice as 2, there are 2 choices we have given. If I enter 2, then it will be showing the factorial. Got it? So some this thing we have to do in order to bring formatting. Enter the number, we will be giving one space and put colon, and this reverse it should be displayed in one line, and factorial of the number. We know then everyone, I'll explain typing the program once again, but for the time being, there is no time for. So here we will be getting, now it will be looking good because we have asked the user, given the menu properly, reverse the number in one line and factorial of the number in the second line. And here after finding reverse factorial also, we can give it a problem. Factorial of the number is like that. If you want to print that reverse of the number is okay. So now when we run, we will understand. Enter the number. So if I am aiming to reverse to some reverse the number, give 3-digit number. Got it? So if you will give the choice as 1, listen here, because your BSc friends know they were making many mistakes. When you are planning to give reverse of the number, give 3-digit or 2-digit number. But when you are finding factorial, don't give big numbers. You know what is factorial? 5 factorial means 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Suppose if you give 23, what will happen? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 4. It is a big number which the factorial variable cannot afford. So here, if you are giving a 2-digit number, always give the choice as 1. All are listening. So it is reversing. What happened now? Somewhere I made mistake. So when you are entering big numbers, don't give for factorial. Where is that error? Can you find? And when it is not equal to 0. Maybe that space is not there. So if I give to, let me check why it is coming wrong. Maybe this reverse is having. Can you find some error? Anyone is there? I'm afraid you are there or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe I didn't initialize the variables. No. Let me see. Now it came because I didn't initialize. Listen here, I didn't initialize reverse. It was having some junk value. That's why. Okay. So when you reverse, you will, when we enter 2, 3, 4, you will be getting. And one more thing you should take care. This fact variable, no, it's better you initialize as long int. Integer, no, it cannot take. Sometimes, no, if you give a number above some number 6 or 8, no, it will be showing error. So better you declare fact as as a integer. Are you all listening? If you are taking screenshot, you will not understand. If you are declaring as long int only, that also up to 12 factorial only it will take, 12 or 13. So give, when we are planning to give the choice as 2, give smaller numbers. When we are giving a reverse of the number, give 2 or 3 digit number. Then only we can understand it is getting reverse. If you enter 6, then reverse of 6 is 6 itself, right? So you will not understand. That's what I'm telling. So better if you are planning to give the factorial, whether it is working, factorial also. I was in a hurry to type. Enter the number 5. I will check once. No, it is not correct. If you are not giving space, then also that I value I had initialized to 0, right? I should get 120 in the first step of fact equal to 1. Fact equal to 1 only I have given. Can you find any error? No, all are hungry now. Fact equal to 1 into 1. Then again, I is not less than. It is showing 720. Okay. Here, one thing you have to listen. All are here. Okay. Listen here. Only 9 are there now. So when you are giving long int, what should be the format specifier? When you are declaring fact as long int. Anyone is there?
Yes, ma'am.
What should be the format specifier for integer and long integer? Integer format specifier is %d. Meenakshi? No one is there. Give attendance in the chat box. Let me see. All are there. Only 9 I could see now. Give attendance in the chat box. What will be the format specifier for integer and long integer? Message in the chat box. I know it is time up, but I thought I'll finish it and anybody? What will be the format specifier for integer? Don't know. Integer is percentage d. Long integer is Meenakshi got so long integer will be LD. Okay, LD. Okay, so that one because of that I think we are getting wrong answer. So okay, now we will why I am getting 720. Somewhere some mistake is there. I value is anyway. I'll fix it in the. I'll show you what error was there. Why I'm getting 720? I can't understand. I'm incrementing I value. Fact is fact equal to 1 only. Okay. Okay. Now anyway, I'll check it and let you know. I thought I'll make you type and send me the output. I don't know where I made a mistake. I think one more iteration is extra, no, here. When I'm starting from